Okay, somebody else wants to know, can you please tell me the difference between echolalia and verbal stimming? I love this question. Yes.
I would say the function of it. Like, this is from a very ABA perspective. You know, when we see a behavior, and it can, you know, if it's a challenging behavior in any way, we'll look and try to figure out what is the function of the behavior. There are some kids who come through and, you know, they have verbal self-stimulatory behavior, and I'll realize, oh, wow, they're using it to communicate, though.
Yeah.
And there's a purpose for it. And then that's when I would say, like, the kids that do this, it always amazes me, because my rote memory is nowhere near so many of the kids we work with.
Oh, yeah.
But where they don't know how to formulate their own language, but they can take a line from Pocahontas or some Disney movie and use it to get their needs met with their parent.
Yes.
You know, and
absolutely.
I can't even think of one right now, but we've had so many kids come through and be able to grab a script from some favorite show and use it to get manned, to ask for things that they want, things they're interested in, things they need, you know, just wanting to talk about some subject that they really love, and they don't know how to formulate the language, put the word together, so they go and they grab this script and put it into this functional. And when I say it's functional, that they're getting some need met and there's a response from another person. Verbal stimming is, a lot of times, it's perseverative.
Yeah.
There's no function to it except that it somehow, in that automatic behavior, really pleases that person internally.
So it's not an attempt to communicate, it's something internal.
Yeah, it's something that they really love. And even then, I always go one step beyond in terms of automatic. If people tell me about automatic behaviors like verbal stimming, I say, well, but what do they like about it? Try to figure it out. Because I've had kids who just love to hear things. They don't like it when it's quiet.
Yeah.
And so an easy replacement was to teach them how to listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly all the verbal stim goes down. But sometimes they just like the sequence of the script.
Yeah.
You know, or sometimes they like the feeling of it. There's all these ways that it can internally please them. And if you can figure out what it is and then find an appropriate replacement, that behavior will go down.
Yeah. I would say that one of the hardest things that took the longest with my son was that there was a verbal stim that they called it vocal stereotypy, that he would do basically I always forget which robot is which in Star Wars, excuse me. That's the ultimate mistake, right? So it's R2D2, right? Or no?
The little white one
C-3PO.
is R2D2, and the big gold one is C-3PO.
Okay, so the little one makes all those. I can't even do the high noise, but that's what my son would do. So if he was excited about something, he would go, you know, and make this noise, and that very high up in his head that would sort of make his sinuses vibrate. And I think that was part of why he liked it. And we worked on it forever, and we would say, use your words and all these different things. And it finally was, one of the therapists said, because I was like, in school, the kids around him didn't want to sit next to him because he would make these noises. And so the therapist said to him, do you know how to make that noise in your head without me hearing it? And Jem was like, what do you mean? And he said, well, you know, do it softer and softer and softer, and now keep making the noise until he got to the point where he couldn't hear it. And he said to him, does it do the same thing for you as if you do it loud? And Jem said, yeah. And he goes, well, then just do it in your head from now on. And you know what, like, and that sounds ridiculous, like it's so simple that it's stupid, but that worked. That totally worked.
And I have to say this because that worked for Jem.
Yeah, but it wouldn't necessarily work for everybody.
It doesn't work for everyone. And there are a lot of things we want to be out and hearing so that we can replace them.
Yes.
Because there are a group of behavior analysts out there who teach think it in your head, and then it's too much in their head, and then the kids are in their head.
Oh, interesting.
And then you can't get them out of their head, and you have no control because you don't know what's going on in their head.
Okay,
and it becomes a whole different issue.
All right, so we don't want to do that. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Okay, I think I've got time for one more question, and I'm trying to pick a goodie. A goodie, oh, I know which one I want. I want the one over here. I have a 16-year-old daughter with autism. What can I do to help her with social skills?
Oh, this is a big question.
Yeah, it is.
Because we don't know where she is at.
And you've got about a minute and a half. So there you go. No pressure. No pressure at all.
There's so many levels of interaction. A 16-year-old, let's say high functioning,
okay, let's
where
see.
they're in typical school environment, but they have odd behaviors or, just very ASD. I think a lot of that is going to look and seeing, like, what is she good at? What is she like? What is there any part of her behavior that the outside world really loves, could really love?
Yeah.
I always say the kids who have great drawing ability or singing or whatever, music, whatever it is, that you want to shine a light on that, because it becomes something that she'll get a lot of reinforcement for.
Well, and you find the group of people too that's reinforcing to them.
Exactly.
You find your tribe.
You find your tribe. You definitely do. And if so if there is that thing that other people are interested in, and then she can find her group and she'll fit right in, and she'll probably be really good at that thing.
Yeah.
And people will give her a lot of respect, and that immediately will create the group, the social situation. Because you don't need to be popular.
Yeah.
Although I had one of our kids come in and was not happy that he had a friend. He wanted to be popular. But for her, it's just finding that one thing that she likes, that she enjoys, that there's other people who have this interest too. And it doesn't have to be a group of people. It can be the one other person. Yeah. It can be that one other person who loves math.
Right.
And is so interested in that, whether it's math or music or some movie script or whatever it may be, and really taking advantage of that and using that love or that that talent to increase your interactions with people, and not just in school, but if there's people outside. I always think long term. Like, there's a lot of things in high school that maybe aren't so interesting to high school kids, but that in college she'll find those people.
Yeah.
And just trying to think a little bit more long term about where it could go, and being able to channel her towards that group of people or that person. There's talents. We have kids who persevere in weather, and we have one I think he's getting a PhD in meteorology now or something. But I mean, just really, he never had a lot of friends, but he had that one friend that was interested in what he was, and when he got to college, he had a whole department.
But I'm going to say, too, that I think this goes even if it's not a high-functioning kid. I think this is great advice no matter what. That we've had on the show here a group of people, Spectrum Laboratories, that it's here in Los Angeles, and they have a wide variety of people that take their classes together. There are people who are neurotypical, there are people who are very high-functioning, there are people who have some pretty significant issues, and I have watched over a 3-year period these people make videos together. Then they go and work separately on things. They come back to class together, and I have seen them create this bubble of artists, and they are all welcome and invited, and especially for the kids who have more significant challenges, I've heard their parents and grandparents say, this has been the most amazing thing.
And additionally, I have kids who are very challenged adults now. Yeah. And what we've really tried to work with the families is finding leisure activities that they can do. And it can be anything from creating a routine to work out.
Yes.
It can be Frisbee so they can get the visual stereotypy.
Right.
Whatever it may be, but teaching them something that there are other people who are interested in that activity.
There you go.
And you can put it right in to their system where there's going to be a group of people that they can find to interact with, to have. It might not be the social skills you're thinking about, but they'll have a group of people that they can interact with and be amazing at, usually.
And that's the thing. We all want to have a sense of belonging, and
And it creates some positive interaction. Just life gets boring if you don't have enough things to do, and I think a lot of people forget that for our challenged kids. Yes. I'm a big proponent of you can be challenged, but hey, let's teach you a lot of these leisure activities so that your life can be fulfilling.
There you go. We're officially out of time. We've gone over. I apologize, Traven. I have a new clock that tells me, and I still couldn't do it. But it was too fascinating. So thank you so much. We so appreciate your time.
You're very
We're
welcome.
told that we have Dr. Grampy Shea back next week, but we'll look forward to having you again soon.
Okay.
And thank you so much. You guys, it's been great. I want to tell you just a little bit about the rest of this week. Tomorrow we have autism expert Laura Smith, and we have Bonnie Yates joining us tomorrow for the first time since she became a grandmother. So that you're not going to want to miss that. And then on Friday we have Kristen Roth from the Autism Society of America. We're talking about their new Aut Fest that's happening in September, film festival. So you tune in for that, and then on Friday we're going to unveil who our big guest is next week, and it's going to blow all your socks off. Make time, save the date on Monday. we have a big show on Monday with a big guest.
Wow.
It's a big, big deal. So until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.